Herby Fully Charged. It was when I was out there as president, high on all the drugs and just coming up with stupid ideas for stupid movies. Herby Fully Charged was going to be a movie, Herby the Love Bug, yes. A movie about Herby the Love Bug. Uh, it was gonna be a movie that started like any great movie with a fire. Some dude basically watches his wife and kid end up getting burned to death inside of a building, and then he watches a shadowy figure run away from the fire. Uh, this results in a series of legal battles that happen in the movie that basically ruin this guy's life because he's convinced he saw somebody running from the fire. Eventually, they accuse him of having delirium. They shut him down, and then the MacGuffin comes into play. The MacGuffin is his wife was working on super powerful rechargeable batteries that drain slowly. And the MacGuffin is what the antagonist of the movie. He's supposed to be a guy like Elon Musk. He was supposed to have a car that had an AI brain that kind of behaved like Herby. But it was supposed to have a complete copy of this CEO's brain and how he thought. So the car was supposed to be kind of like a mirror of the CEO. And so this dude in the movie gets super depressed. He turns alcoholic and he starts living in his garage where he fixed old cars. Or he fixed cars. And it takes up 4 years after the fire, where some lady keeps bringing him meals to eat, and she's worried about him, and everybody's worried about him. But everybody that has tried to reach this guy, he just pushes away because he wants to live in the past, and he remembers when his wife was alive and his kid was alive, and everybody was happy. And he remembers the project she was working on, the special batteries. This all comes full circle when there's always a Gandalf in my story arcs, a catalyst, a guy that kind of sets the person on the right path. Keith David turns up and basically tells the guy, because the dude's about to lose everything, he gets a notice on his door, on his shop that says basically we're going to foreclose on your property and this is the last thing he owns in this world. He has lost everything officially. And the lady tells him, look, this is what happens. It doesn't matter if you're a good person, doesn't matter if you're a bad person. Things get taken from you. Nobody cares. She's very callous. Keith David shows up and tells him basically there's a race coming up. And he wants to give him money to race in this race on behalf of the guy's wife, because his wife was developing battery technology. To which the guy tells him, I don't have any of those things. And the dude tells him, Keith David's basically, you're about to lose everything. You're about to be out on your ass. You'll have nothing. And he's like, the last goddamn thing you can do on this earth is open that box and see what your wife left you. The box he's talking about is a inheritance box that this guy refused to open because it's too painful for him to think about his wife and kid burning to death in a fire. He's traumatized. He's an extremely traumatized person. So not only is he traumatized, he's stuck. So in the story, the dude opens the box and discovers inside that box the MacGuffin super, think like shiny colors and all that other shit, super powerful special prototype battery pack that kinda never runs out. He finds his wife's instructions and all the things that this guy she had, along with dates when she made these things. This is all important for later, so Keith David alludes to this guy might find something in this race that he might be looking for. And the dude, basically, because Keith David's a very shadowy character at this point, he doesn't know this guy. So the dude takes the battery pack his wife left him and instructions on converting a car into an electric car. Outside of his shop is a Twingo that belongs to his wife. That car is a EV conversion, but it is not what he's looking to do. He needs a faster, stronger, better EV conversion. Cue Herby. He goes to the junkyard, finds Herby. Decides to pay the guy a nominal fee for Herby. Herby's sitting on top of like a junk pile. Brings him to his shop. And cue the most hilarious scene you'll ever see in any Herby movie. This guy opens his tailgate and takes a wrench to Herby's gas guzzling engine, and they zoom in on Herby's face. And this would have been amazing if it was done through animatronics. Imagine a dude getting like a colon inspection by a doctor, but it's Herby's face. It's the front of Herby's car, and his headlights are doing the whole eye motions, and he's being violated. And you just hear power tools and the Zawzall going off, and it's like a montage, but the montage is just through the facial expressions of Herby as he's being violated because this guy's ripping him apart to put in an EV motor with EV battery packs. He's converting Herby to an electric vehicle for racing. He puts a spoiler on him because that's cool, and a giant antenna because that's cool. It basically puts all these updates in him. And while this guy is working, he's distracted from drinking, so he's not being an alcoholic at this point. He gets Herby ready for the race. He signs up for the race and runs into the CEO, who's a multi-billionaire. To which our first problem arises. He meets this guy, and they quickly find out that they both have the same battery technology by coincidence. But the CEO is pissed, takes him to court. The guy's lawyer tries to default on the case, tells him, if you can't prove that your wife came up with those battery packs before this company came up with those battery packs, then basically, you stole company property. This guy doesn't have any money, assets, or anything to fight a massive legal battle. Cue Keith David. Keith David tells him, I'll represent you. All you have to do is bring me your wife's original diary. And the dude, once again, has to face trauma. He has to face the reality that his wife is dead. His kid is dead. And he's extremely traumatized, but he gets her diary and begins reading through it, looking for any fucking hope that his wife may have gotten a patent on this battery technology before the company did. So what he finds is an applied seal for a patent, but the patent is never passed. But it is an applied seal proving that she applied for this technology long before the company even got their hands on it. Keith David represents the guy, Keith David being a good dude. But Keith David is still mysterious. They don't know, there's no explanation for why the fuck Keith David is helping this one fucking redneck loser who's just been drinking himself to death and being depressed for the last 4 years. Herby antics ensue in between there. Now, in my story, Herby is strictly reactionary. There's none of this, he's just going to drive on the wall because he feels like it. There's none of this, he's going to cheat because he feels like it. Anytime anybody tries to cheat, Herby fixes it. This is anything from trying to loosen bolts, and the CEO guy that's like Elon Musk, he has his generic goons like Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers, the fat guy, skinny guy. They're constantly fucking with Herby and trying to cause that car to get into a wreck, and Herby just randomly beats their asses. He opening doors, hitting them with the bumper, the generic kind of Herby goofy shit. The race starts, and it's a race across America to determine which company has the best batteries, best battery management system, and best EVs to lead America into the future of EVs. The main CEO, the main antagonist, they start out, and his AI-powered vehicle immediately starts making plans to cause other vehicles to wreck, other vehicles to catch fire, other vehicles to explode. This guy is willing to cheat at everything, keep them fighting, one hand behind their back, a good Christian value. And we're going to talk about Christian values in this. So this dude, the CEO that can cheat at everything, has the best. He has everything that is ready to make him win. And the race across America starts off in earnest. And it starts off with Herby being in the back, coming up and battling his way through the roster. Coming up from last place to the, 7th place or whatever. And as this goes along, the other vehicles, some of them cop out from natural causes, but most of them mysteriously end up wrecking. If it's anything from an AI program that's driving the vehicle for the car, the CEO's vehicle overwrites the program and crashes the car. Okay, just crazy kind of shit like that. Literally murdering the other racers so the CEO can win and get his patent and fucking... So... the dude, as he's driving, Herby begins to fall apart piece by piece. The problem is this guy's poor. He's running off of a prototype battery that was left by his wife. He's not the guy that created this, so he doesn't actually know anything about it. And problems arise, and kind of like The Martian, he has to continuously find ways to solve and fix problems. One of the things I talked about was Herby had a brush that when he came up on Metal Guardians, the brush would extend out from the side of the vehicle and rub against it, creating a static electricity, and then Herby would absorb that and regenerate the battery pack. There were goofy things like that, like he would have solar panels on his roof or something to absorb electricity and shit, so that Herby could keep racing across America. Ultimately, all the Herby antics, and there are other drivers in this that want to play dirty. They want to crash and wreck into one another, and just the regular dickhead tactics, which results in sweet driving moments for the stunt crew to do sweet driving things like fucking step on the brake and gas pedal and turn the car sideways and slide sideways and do crazy, awesome Fast and the Furious antics and jumping ramps and just cool shit. You're literally like Cannonball Run. You're on a race across America. There's so much cool shit you can do. And also Herby has a personality, so you can do that too. Altering Herby's personality. Now, I wanted to talk about one of the funnier things I think that would be pretty cool is if people recognize that Herby has a personality, but they mistake it for AI. So they actually see Herby doing things and nobody thinks it's weird. They just assume it's AI, which I thought would be really fucking cool. And even funnier than that is I remember thinking it would be cool if the lead antagonist of the thing tries to hack Herby's AI only to find out that's not how that works because Herby's like some kind of possessed demented vehicle or some shit. Anyways, this guy kind of starts feeling better about himself, but not really during this race. That lady that was bringing him food and shit, she's all cheerful on the microphone talking to him because he seems happier, and people that are around him genuinely seem happier. That is right up until everything goes bad. He starts catching up to the lead guy, the antagonist. The antagonist cheats, somehow gets Herby lit on fire, crashes into him, sends him screaming off a fucking mountain, into a bunch of trees, and then crashes into the dirt. And this is the anime part where there's a storm rolling in, or the storm's already there. We'll go with the storm's already there. It's much better. And it starts raining. So this is my action music isn't playing part of this story. So Herby crashes. That guy fucking gets out and starts screaming at nobody. Not God, just the universe. You guys are always fucking with me. You're always fucking shit up. You've always fucking knifed me in the back. Starts yelling about being the victim and the entire time, each time something happens with Herby, this guy drinks. Okay, every time anything goes wrong, he immediately goes to get drunk and he immediately goes back to drinking. He's always withdrawn. He refuses to connect with anybody because he's terrified. He's terrified of getting hurt. He's terrified of everything going bad. He's terrified of everything because he's already experienced the worst and he doesn't ever want to experience it again. So his goal is to make sure it never happens again. So this is a story of healing. This is a story of reconnecting. This is kind of like even reading his wife's diary and shit like that. He listens to like cassette tapes and shit. Is him trying to extend the time with his wife and kid that that was simply stolen from him. Now, in the Herby thing, Herby runs out of power. The vehicle crashes. And this dude is out in the mud, screaming, cursing at the universe, furiously. And then, a god answers. Lightning strikes Herby's giant-ass antenna, and it recharges the battery on it. And Chris Hemsworth flies overhead in a Thor costume. Yes, I'm mixing Marvel and Thor. It says something to the camera. Like, what, you thought you were going to get Christian God? He doesn't care about anybody. Ha ha ha, And he flies overhead as Thor. So Thor from Marvel just struck Herby the Lovebug's antenna and recharged his battery. And this guy immediately, like, he gets struck by lightning. Because when cars are struck by lightning, it dissipates the lightning. This dude goes flying away from Herby. So he sees that Herby's on, and he starts laughing, and he goes to get back at Herby, and Herby's not going to have it. He is done with this self-hating, self-deprecating, miserable shit who has just been fucking miserable the entire fucking time he's been doing this task. So Herby hits him in the face with the driver's side door, and then fucking really cool car fight scene. Man versus car fight scene. Herby's like, the side of the vehicle warps, lifts up, and he tries to crush him with the tire after he knocks him down. The dude rolls out from under it, only to end up between Herby, and Herby starts twisting the steering wheel back and forth and trying to hit him with the tires. And the fucking car starts chasing the dude around, starts dragging him, because he's like under the car. The car starts dragging him around. And Herby's trying to fuck him up. Herby's finally fucking pissed at him. And this dude starts fighting with Herby, punching him. It is a stupid, pointless, ridiculous... Trust me, if you can do this cinematically, it sounds retarded, but if you could do this cinematically perfect in the rain and mud, this guy screaming, being furious, pissed off, looking like Ash from Evil Dead, all crazy, mentally unhinged, completely unstable. This would be an amazing movie scene. This dude fighting a 1967 VW Beetle. So, and then the coming to peace moment. Herby starts playing the last of the cassette tapes from this guy's wife. This guy refuses to listen to because he's scared. And he basically pins him against a tree, and forces him to listen. And the dude finally breaks down and starts crying. He's no longer screaming or raging or yelling. He's just crying in the rain. And then Herby opens his doors and sends the seatbelts out like spider webs and grabs the guy and pulls him into the car Evil Dead style, like vines or whatever, and the dude's screaming and crying and he gets in there. And then Herby takes off through the woods, fueled by lightning and power, with sparks and shit flying off him, because that would be cool. The CEO guy's out in the head. There's nobody else to beat him. He's home free, and the announcer dude's like, goes over the ridiculous amount of shit that happened to everybody else that was in this race. He's like, oh, what's his face got locked in his car and burned to death. This other dude's car exploded during the race trial. Some other dude got cancer. Just all the things this guy did to cheat to win, and he's gonna win. He's on the way there. He's on the home stretch. He has 3 miles left. He hasn't had a problem. It's been a smooth, easy ride for him the entire time. And that's where it cuts to the predatory scene of Herby driving through a mountain tunnel with first person view. You're looking over the hood. And he's driving through a tunnel with railroad tracks, and then it cuts and it goes back to the dude, easy drive, and then Herby's jumping over a cliff, easy drive. That guy Herby's cutting through mud and dirt, he's going through forest, he's covered in fucking moss and fucking leaves and shit. And then this guy's still going, and he's about to make it, and then you hear the sound of like a freight train as Herby zips down some kind of forgotten mountain path that's some kind of forgotten railway. He flies over the cliff, and that dude, the rich guy, looks up and sees Herby flying through the air, electricity and fire flaming from the vehicle, because why not? It's cool. And he slams onto the road, and then they get into the Hollywood style extreme, like it's on race time, and they start slamming into one another. There's all the crazy mechanics. The cars are beating the shit out of each other. His car gets what looks like a kind of version of a car's black eye, like a crushed front fender. So like one of its eyes, like where the headlights would be, is all fucked up. And he gets into a dirt battle slug out with Herby, all the way till the truth comes out. The fucking CEO finally snaps, fighting with this guy, because he's not gonna lose. And he tells him, I murdered your wife. I murdered Keith David's son because he was helping your wife develop this battery technology, and you guys didn't deserve it. You were never born with wealth. You weren't born into this. You don't deserve it. You never did. I'm entitled to it. And he goes on a Blondie rant. Blondie, that asshole I've been talking about. Telling this guy how worthless he is, and well, he's a piece of shit, and fucking hero moment, the guy wins the race, and then they put the CEO in handcuffs, and that dude walks over with a hatchet and grinds the guy's neck out to fucking bring it down, and then it just cuts Herby fully charged, And there's some point where it cuts to Chris Hemsworth in the stands, and he's with his family, and he just gives the guy a thumbs up. This was a movie I made up when I was president, and Disney told me they would never make it, and then the church told me they wouldn't make it because it didn't have Christian values in it. Because it's all about helping people. That's what Keith David does. That's what everybody does. There's a point where the guy finds out that everybody around him was working against him and for the CEO, and they all try to fix it by helping the guy at the end of the movie. There you go.